Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday at the Art Clinic Online. We have an incredible ceramicist and actually a couple actually here at the meeting today. And Akemi Maegawa, is that correct? Okay. Is a ceramicist based in DC area currently, native to Japan, and she's going to be introduced by a longtime friend and contributor to our program, Adah Bitterbaum out of Kensington. She's at our Kensington gallery today, and I hear she has an art opening tonight. Is that Lindsay's work?
Yeah, that's
Right?
Lindsay's behind me. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. Another Art Clinic Online contributor as well. So go
exactly.
ahead and
Yeah.
check out the reception tonight if you have a chance. I want to first thank all of our small donors to our program. We're close to almost 70, I think we're about $7,300 of donations or direct money thrown at DC artists at this point. So we're pretty proud of our small little program and our ability to help artists in the area, but and just getting not only the word out about their artwork and having them able to present about their work, but also funding them in small increments. But without further ado, I'd like to invite Ada Rose to invite her to introduce our presenter today. Sorry, not enough caffeine yet.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Adah Rose, and Akemi is a artist that I show in the gallery, but she's also become a very good friend, and she's a neighbor as well. And she's an amazing, she works primarily in ceramics, but she's a multidisciplinary artist and a conceptual artist. Behind all her work is a very interesting concept, and I'm sure she's going to tell you about a lot of them today. I just want to quickly say about the first show I saw of Akemi's. I went to the University of Maryland. It was a large show of hers, and it included obviously her ceramic work, but it included painting, drawing, installation, fabric work. And I was just blown away by her work. And I immediately reached out to her because I didn't know about her, and there was a marvelous catalog. And she's very, very funny. I don't know if she'll be funny today, but if she appears to be funny, she is funny. And she always puts me in a wonderful mood when I'm with her. She studied in college in Japan, but she always wanted to be an artist. She wasn't an artist there. And she has a BFA from the Corcoran and an MFA from Cranbrook in Michigan. So she's a beautifully trained artist. She's been in many, many shows. And I just want to talk about two little anecdotes about her show, about her, excuse me. Her last show in the gallery was pretty amazing, I think, because it came out of just as we were coming out of COVID. And I've always been a lover of fashion and couture. And Akemi, with her darumas and with her traveling pots, she essentially created a runway. So it was a runway of darumas, which she'll explain to you later, and a runway of pots that could travel when Akemi and all of us couldn't travel. And she had the pots wearing fashion. And it was just such a delightful and such a poignant show. So I wanted to quickly mention that show, but she'll probably show you pictures. And then she taught me a wonderful little expression. When Akemi makes work, she saves the leftover clay in her gallery, and she makes these tiny little darumas, little incarnations of Buddha. And she taught me this wonderful Japanese expression, which is there is a fortune in leftovers. And I always, when I pick up those darumas, when people come into the gallery and pick up those darumas, I think everyone senses that fortune in leftovers that she conveys to us. So without further ado, Akemi.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I'm really like honored that I'm so lucky to met you, and also so many artist friends in DC community that I developed in last 25 years. Um, um, to start my presentation, first I have to set up the PowerPoint. So let me try to start. Okay. Thank you again, Jordan and Mariana, for inviting me to the Art Clinic Online. Well, I would like to talk, and then before that, I want to thank you, Adah Rose, for amazing introduction. You are not only a wonderful art gallerist but also an incredible supporter to so many local artists and beyond. We are really lucky to have you in our art community. I want to start talking about this work that I made over 20 years ago. It's called Organizing Memories. I started my new life far from home country, Japan. I decided to make a work about memories. I made a list of Japanese words of emotion or feeling that I remember experienced in my life. The word I collected became total 60. So I made the 2 pages book for each word. On the left side, you can see this tiny book, collection of the book. On the left side of the book, I wrote a Japanese word. And then on the right side, I typed the direct English translation of the word I found from a dictionary. And some words did not translate well, so I made Daruma sculpture with the facial expression to fit to the Japanese word. I made a travel bag for carrying the books and a bag for Daruma sculptures in black and white. These are kind of soft, this is the bag I was, packing them. And these are kind of casket. Those bags became caskets for my memories. And I believe life is a journey filled with memories, both good and bad. And those are packed Daruma, looks like wrapped and softly, covered, looks like rice balls. And these are this is an installation view of that show, this piece, and there are stone, ceramics books on the floor too, but these are not able to open it. But I know there are memories that I cannot recall, but still exist. So these are the installation view. So when I came to the States, nobody about Daruma, so I started to make Daruma sculptures because I wanted to introduce here one of the most commonly used self-motivation object in Japan. Daruma dolls were created based on the myth of a monk named Daruma who lost his legs and hands after long meditation to achieve enlightenment. His dedication and perseverance encouraged people to work hard to achieve their own goals and remind them to never give up. So regular Daruma dolls in Japan comes without pupils in the eyes. When you define your own goal, you draw in one pupil having Daruma with one eye open while you work every day beyond towards the goal. Only when you achieve your goal, you can draw the other side of pupil. So when both eyes are open, Daruma became a symbol of achievement. I make my own Daruma to bring good luck, express my thoughts, and respond to social events. This big Daruma was made when I moved to a new studio for good luck. And these are Daruma commodity series. Facial expression is not easily recognized because of the mask of brand logo. I was questioning about consumer culture and relationship with identity and brand. This is a Daruma commodity series, window shopping. Instead of sitting inside, they were outside looking inside. It's kind of funny. Another Daruma commodity series looks like wearing clothes, but actually wearing a bag. This one is called No Tattoo Allowed. So I played the English word no and Japanese word no, N-O-H, which is one of Japanese traditional performance, often featuring symbolic masks and costumes. In Japan, people with tattoos are not allowed to enter public baths since only Yakuza Japanese mafia were getting tattoos on their whole body in Japan. Nowadays, that is changing slowly, but the perception towards tattoo in Japan is severely negative because of the history of tattoo that connects to Yakuza. And there is sign no tattoo allowed at the public bathhouse entrance. So I made this Daruma with no tattoo allowed, and he is sitting in a hot bath, but that's only for himself. And this one is Ichigo Daruma on the left and 2008 Daruma on the right. Ichigo means strawberry in Japanese, and Ichigo means number one or the first one. Both sound very similar, so I made this Ichigo Daruma with the wordplay too, because this is the first sculpture that I decided to fire in my new kiln in 2008. And 2008 Daruma on the right was obviously a reflection of the time when housing market collapsed. It's, yeah. And this is a large Daruma chair I made in 2007. People can sit and become part of Daruma. It's pretty comfortable. I make Daruma sculpture whenever I need to express my personal feeling or thoughts reflecting to the world. This Daruma was made when we were finally able to travel after COVID vaccine was developed and available. Daruma looks happy, but it didn't feel, I didn't feel completely safe to travel. It was like sailing on a boat, leaf boat feeling. So this Daruma has a band-aid on the shoulder, suggesting the vaccine shot. So going back to some old works, besides personal expression through Daruma, I have been making works based on my questions and curiosity in the social and economical value or conditions in the States. This work is called American Beauty. So I learned that how teeth looks so important in the States, way more than in Japan. I got used to floss my teeth, but I still don't understand the obsession of perfect white teeth in this country. Well, I don't find any problem in people with a little crooked teeth unless it affects their health issue. Well, next one is size matters number 1 and 2, 5. So opposite from a small country like Japan, everything in the state is big, and often big things are considered good. So I wanted to investigate multiple issues through this work. I thought perception and habit should be questioned also. This work would make us aware of some Western value, and it may help viewers to look at art more closely and carefully in a museum instead of just reading the labels. So I switched the position of the label and the artwork. So this one is Size Matters #1. And the work is so small, but you can find it on the right side of the giant label. And these are close-up images of Size Matters #2, #3, #4, and 5. As you may already noticed, my work is sometimes funny, and I love humor, and humor helps me to live through the hardest time in my life. This one is called Sweet Memory with X. Pain is not easy to describe or articulate, so I wanted to share my pain of the past relationship with viewers. So I chose wasabi and chili for this fresh sculpture. It looks like a cheerful birthday cake or a wedding cake if there are figures on top. But because it's made from massive amount of wasabi and chili, people who get close to the cake, they start to cry because of the powerful aroma and wasabi without knowing the story behind. No, while I was making this piece, I cried continuously because of the pain from the unbelievable wasabi powder, power in my eyes and hands. Even I was wearing a goggle and double layered gloves. It was really surprising to learn that such a familiar food can produce so much physical pain and make us cry. So making sculpture related to ordinary food in a different medium continues in my practice. This work is called Sunny Side Should Be Up Chair. In Japan, fried egg is called medamayaki, which means fried eyeball. That doesn't sound so appetizing in English, but when I learned that fried egg is called sunny side up in English, I was struck by the fantastical image because sun is so important and positive in Japan. So I had to make a sunny side up egg sculpture that brings people together, meditate, relax, and sit on. So this is a 12 feet diameter sculpture. Egg yolk is made from stoneware, and egg white part is made of dense foam and fabric. It's pretty comfortable. This is a work called Controlling the Masses. It's a performance piece. Another work questioning about social, political, and economical issues. I made hundreds of ceramics gingerbread men turned into a domino. Last installation and performance was at Betty May Kramer Gallery in Silver Spring, Maryland. It's a detail. And this is a performance. So it's a pretty entertaining work, but very dark piece, I would say. A leading figure in the red starts the knocking down entire group or people. I made it a very long time ago, but it's so uncanny to see this now under, current political climate. But there is always one gingerbread man standing with a face out of the line, watching and observing. And this is me, or artist. Okay, so this is another different kind of piece, wrapping project studio. Thinking about meaning of the all objects and tools I found in my studio, I started to wrap each of them by stitching fabric like a cocoon. It's not permanently sealed, but protected or blocked the function and visibly muted. I was wondering what if I have no tool left except a pair of scissors, needle, and thread. It was to investigate the meaning of the object, role of care, and protection. Wrapping all the objects in my studio by itself was a meditating process and made me aware a lot of things why we always accumulate so many things and if we really need all those things. I decided to expand the wrapping project to some permanent work that I see every day, but I stopped paying attention to. This is the famous bronze sculpture, Europa the Bull, by Carl Mills at Cranbrook Academy of Art in Michigan. I saw, this sculpture every day, between from my dorm room to my studio, walking, but somehow I really stopped paying attention. So I got the permission to work on my wrapping project in the middle of the brutal Michigan winter. I was and started to work on that project. It was extremely cold, and sometimes it was minus 10 degrees. And I knew this, sculpture was very, very big. But when I got close, literally hugging and riding on the sculpture to sew the fabric around, it was really massive, unbelievable experience to learn the piece and about the artist. So this is the finished work. And after complete the wrapping project Europa, a few weeks of brutal weather continued, but the sculpture was well protected and looked beautiful in the snow. Everybody paid more attention to the sculpture, wrapped, actually made, hidden basically, but wrapped well with the fabric and looked really comfortable. It really was beautiful. So this was how it looks, and became kind of more sexy, I think. Anyway, so wrapping project continued. It's a wrapping project wish balloon. I was curious about wrapping something ephemeral, yet something important, so that I can take care of the invisible thing for others by wrapping it. So I asked people to make a wish in a balloon. I was carefully cutting the fabric to make it tight and stitched together to cover the balloon. It was really, really difficult to focus on not to pop the balloon. I didn't ask what kind of wish people made, but I felt the responsibility not to break their wish before it comes true. So I made about 100 of them, then hung them on the wall. Each balloon had a name and date on the tag when they made their wishes. So installation view, and looks like a hanging fruits, slightly visible with a color underneath. So wrapping project wish balloon deflated. This is a continuous work. It was shown at the UMUC, current UMGC. The original wrapping project wish balloon was tightly wrapped, stitched over the real balloon, and each wrapped balloon was hung on the wall like a piece of fruit. But those people's wishes, the air in the balloon completely vanished with time. However, the external skin I created for each balloon remains as a memory of the wish, as each dropped or to the floor like a dried fruit. So this wrapping project, Wish Balloon Deflated, raises question about time and memory, and I find it very poetic and beautiful to visualize something important being dispersed with time. So we are breathing those people's dreams or wishes together. This is a detail. So questioning social and economical system through art continues. This is called counterfeit money entrance map. I made a hidden money printing system to set up by a gallery entrance. It's a semi-collaborative and interactive work. I hid a manual printing system under this entrance map to place at the Irvine Contemporary when I had my solo exhibition. I made a wood block of Japanese 10,000 yen note, and I inked the block daily and placed the Japanese paper under the entrance map. Literally, the money was printed by the gallery visitors without them noticing as a part of this system. Through this work, I was experimenting and questioning the relationship between art and making money. So these are, every day I put one print on the wall every day during the exhibition. This one is called East Meets West. Ceramic chopsticks rest. I wanted to make a work addressing our cultural exchange and questioning our economic system at the same time. So I have been observing and witnessing the widening economical inequality in last 40 years or so. In this work, money cannot buy everything. Those seats, chopstick rest, are for sale, but you cannot choose your seat. Normally, in our capitalism system, people who can afford to pay can get the nice first-class seat. But my airplane seats are based on pure luck. Everybody pays the same price, but you cannot choose or upgrade your seat unless you are lucky to draw a good number. So East meets West lucky draw. This is a omikuji. You can shake the omikuji box and draw a number to check your luck, like people do at the Shinto shrine or a Buddhist temple in Japan. And you get the, seat. This one is called Artist's Urn. It's Collector's Cookie Jar series, made year 2011. Artwork is treated like a commodity these days by some collectors, or I should say speculative investors. Maybe it's only applied to the 1% top artist work, but well, I try to make something about this condition. Quite often we hear that the price of artwork will increase when artist dies. That is really sad to hear as an artist. So I was making work thinking about the relationship between artist and art collector. And I wonder which is better for a collector to have a piece of paper as the last artwork of the artist's life, because the object is used as my urn, or I exchange the certificate and a cookie jar if I don't die. So these are the certificate I make. And if I don't die, I will exchange it to the objects next year. And this one is Artist Earn is a collector's cookie jar series year 2020. And I showed it in my solo exhibition at Glen Echo Stone Tower Gallery, and some collector bought it. And I did exchange next year because I survived. This one is called Cradle to Grave, another urn-related work. I was born in 60s in hippie time. I just wanted to make paired object related to the beginning and end of life, because I believe that life and death are like yin and yang, and both are important. I was questioning why we don't talk about end of life more often. Getting old has to be fun as being young. I would like to imagine how fun it will be to end of my life in the hippie bus urn when I become an ashes. Baby bottle series. This one is baby bottle with tank. I made this baby bottle series from the simple question: are there any babies in the whole world grow up without drinking milk? I think every baby drinks milk. And there are mothers in the whole world want their baby to be part of the world. I couldn't stop asking these questions when the Iraqi war started. And almost 20 years passed after I made this series, but sadly, these are still relevant questions and to ask, and I'm totally disappointed with the whole world, the world we live in. This one is baby bottle with it's called the blue sky cake, this one. It's not of course, edible cake, of course, but my whole family are in Japan, and I'm the only one lives in the States. So I quite often think about my sister in Japan and wishing, we live much closer. This cake is my visible cake to share with my sister, to celebrate together, just looking at the sky and traveling freely back and forth like a cloud. This one is called Thank You Artist Friends on Facebook project. When I learned that Facebook profile image was always shared with public, you cannot really limit that profile image as a personal or private. So I wanted to make a work about the profile image, questioning the image credit, appropriation, and privacy. At the same time, I was really thankful to all the artist friends who are always sharing their thoughts, creative activities, and political and social concerns with me on Facebook. It is worth paying attention to each artist, so I honor my artist friends. I decided to make porcelain profile image for each artist, my artist friend, Facebook friends. So this total, I made 365 handmade porcelain tiles. Okay. And then after I made the work, I shared my tile image with the artist friend on Facebook by tagging, and I shared the image in public, like all the profile images. So you can actually see those pieces. Like that. So whenever I see a tree being cut down because of human convenience, like building a bigger house or not convenient to keep the tree, I feel the pain of the tree. So I started to make works about to help those trees and nature, to heal. So these are sculptures about that idea. And these are unfired Daruma figures I placed on the tree trunk. It will disappear with time in rain and weather, conditions. So when I try to place those, place my raw clay Daruma figures on the tree trunk and pray for the cut tree. Like this. It's pretty, peacefully praying for that poor tree. So this is a dream home. I thought about my dream home, not my dream house. It's not about the size of the house or price of the house. Dream home for me is where my husband and I can live safely and being happy together, and pretty cheerful, iconic work. It's very important. So after living in the States for many years, I noticed many cultural and economical differences between US and Japan. One of them was housing market. It is common to buy and sell houses in US as an investment, unlike in Japan, because Japanese people do not buy and sell their houses so easily like here. Probably because the law is different, and then people stay longer in the same place, and value system is different. So I learned that owning house is one of the most important things to do in US to build asset. So there are many services and maintenance companies to keep up or to appreciate the property value. In this housing market series, I became a real estate agent and introducing a perfect house for those who are looking for a perfect imaginary house. So there are 24 listings, housing market series, and each house has I created has a sales pitch. For instance, this one, I found the perfect house for you. It's slightly tilted and extremely small, but you can't find any house with this price tag in this location. And this one is like, I found the perfect house for you, a Mac mansion built on a small lot. You have plenty of space for your collection, but no need to clean the garden. It's a big trend in the city now. Anyway, during COVID lockdown, I thought a lot about the power of food, I especially homemade food. I not only cooked every day, but also made some plates to think about serving and eating. This shallow bowl has a word, heart. This is a Japanese character, heart. And this one said taste. This one has the hand gesture of offering. And these are set of plates with the image of my facial part. It is a reminder of importance to eat using all the senses: visual, smell, and taste. These are some funny pieces I made. This is me being curious what others are eating or what others think about my cooking. And thinking about the relationship between eating and dieting. And some excuses. So during the COVID, we all could not travel even to visit our families. So I felt like we were stuck like a rooted trees or plants. That's why I made new series of flower pot with legs during COVID lockdown. In my imagination, we could travel freely riding in the flower pot with legs. And then flower pots are very fashionable, like, Adah was introduced this piece. And it's pretty nice looking flower pot, like this. And this is the installation view of my solo exhibition, Let's Go Traveling with Love and Rice Ball at Adah's Gallery in Kensington, Maryland. This is Maruko. She came to our family at the end of COVID. And she came to my show too. So these are small sculpture series. I started to work on small sculpture series, combining two different mediums, fabric and ceramics. I learned how to create fabric sculptures at home. So I experimented to make new works with fabric and ceramics. So even though they are obviously not edible, but they remind me of traditional Japanese sweets, and they make me smile holding in my hands. It's surprising to me how my senses are still strongly connected to my home country, Japan. Even I left so many years ago. And I appreciate Japanese culture and tradition more than before. At the same time, I often make sculptures inspired by the difference in two cultures. When I make work, I always question my identity. I am just a human being, came from Japan, and living in the States now. When I combine two or three mediums in my work besides clay, like this work, I always choose ordinary and accessible materials that anyone can get it cheaply, like felt, synthetic fabric, and so on, because I want my sculpture to be related to ordinary people's life and transform and elevate it into an extraordinary in my hands. Through my work, I want to show my appreciation to people whom I met in my life. As you can see, I make a lot of work based on food, and I also cook every day because food is love. I love sharing food with others as well as sharing art. Anyway, my life journey will continue as long as I am still alive, and I will always carry my memories with me wherever I go. This is my presentation.
This was amazing. You're a true philosopher of life.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I was able to share. It's not easy to share. I make so many works.
Wow.
It's just a portion of it. But I thought that may help why I make work and what my interests are. So I'm glad I was there.
They're amazing. Can you tell us what the Akemichi or the signature of some of the works was different than your name?
Oh, so Akemichi, the nickname, Yeah, because my husband is from Poland originally. He's an American but Polish. So he makes a nickname using Polish kind of, diminutive way that all Polish people use. So Akimichka is kind of nickname he made, and that sounds not like Akemi. So I made that word E part to I so that I could really say what he is saying, and then made it as my artist.
It's really clever. How lovely. And the materials you use, can you tell us a little more about them?
Um,
I know
so
you use clay, but
yeah, the clay, I use sometimes porcelain, but most of the time stoneware clay.
and do you have a kiln or
Yes, I have a kiln in my studio.
in your studio? Okay.
Yes, and then when I do make work in a cleaner medium, not the dusty clay, like a fabric or drawing or painting, I'll do it at home because ceramics is pretty dusty to do it in a home room. So the fabric is often used, and I don't really select specifically nice kind of fabric. I on purpose choose really, really low key fabric. Yeah.
When you covered the statue, what was that covered in?
That's a felt.
Felt. And did you felt it or
I wrap and cut, customly try to fit tightly and then sewn.
And you hand sewed
hand
it?
sewn, yes.
That's what was beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, I was so surprised too. I didn't know how, it was just cold.
Yeah, oh my God. And you had to hand sew it on the statue itself because you couldn't pattern it or.
Right.
Oh my God. How long did it take you?
It took probably few weeks. Yeah, like 2-3 weeks maybe. So it was really, really crazy. Now in summer, especially Michigan winter. Yeah.
What, and then did you cut out the felt to allow?
Yeah. After the whole they allowed me to keep it all the way till I almost graduate. So few months they allowed me to keep it so that people could see and remember and maybe reborn maybe kind of
That's amazing, incredible.
Akemi, I have questions kind of about the process and material. When you come up with an idea for a series of works or bodies of works, is the idea first and then you decide, well, I should do it in ceramics or felt or whatever, or is there kind of like the medium kind of leads you into an idea?
They're always idea first. Yeah.
Do you ever find that you need to learn a new medium because the ones you have are just not what you want for the idea?
Exactly. Yeah. So I try not to limit possibilities to achieve my, try to figure out the best way to, express my idea. So, but of course, I'm using ceramics more often. So base quite often tends to use the ceramics. Somehow it works, but if ceramics by itself doesn't work well, I need to add on top of it. That's quite often happens.
And I guess the other question I had was, I know some things in Japanese culture are harder to approach or ask for whatever reasons. Do you find that it's easier either in the United States to ask these kind of questions about, economics or consumerism, Is there a kind of a point where you say, oh, that's not proper or polite, and I have to kind of restrain my idea or my pursuit in this in showing this through art? Does that make sense?
Hmm. Well, I think everybody try to find a happiness in a own living setting, and this country is huge, and Japan is so small. So happiness, um, you know, is not exactly same. If Japan is huge, like in the States, probably they don't need to care about others so much because you don't have to be so quiet, or people just use the car to commute and listen to the music only for yourself. But in Japan, so small, and then people commute in a packed train. People understand how to treat others and then care about other people by being quiet, especially in the public space, and respect others. That is because of the living condition and then space difference and accessibility of certain things. So despite the fact that Japan is also following the American capitalism, but it's not exactly going all the way to the American way, like me first, or very selfish way, because they are so close to each other, living physically close to each other. So it's kind of awkward if you just build gigantic house in the middle of the small it just become weird. So yeah, I think it's okay to discuss, but it's good to understand each other and respect both cultures. Yeah.
I have a question, if I may. As an immigrant myself, I wanted to ask you, what made you come to the United States? And did you already know you wanted to be an artist and study in art in the United States? What was that process like?
Well, I wanted to study art before I died. So, but I couldn't do it when I was young. And because first, studying art was not something my parents allowed, when I was young. So ended up, working in a different field. But because I got so sick and realized that life is not, worth just making money, I just needed to really pursue what I wanted to do, my own. And I thought studying art as an adult, maybe it's good to go to Europe, Western countries. But I couldn't speak Italian, or I couldn't speak, French. And then by chance, I met my husband while traveling in Europe, and then I discovered school in Washington, D.C. So everything really kind of all lined up the way it, meant to be, or it's like a strange destination. I was able to speak English, even though I never lived in foreign countries, but I really wanted to understand other cultures while I was young. So I studied really hard. And it's kind of really rare as a pure Japanese without having, any English speaker around. But I was obviously very ambitious young girl.
So, and he lived in the United States, so that's how you ended up here.
Yes.
Oh, that is wonderful.
And I like the DC area because of the 4 seasons, like in Japan, and cherry blossom is so nice. Yeah, every spring.
I loved your real estate series. I think you would be an amazing real estate agent. But But I loved all the series. They're amazing. I don't know what to. Where do you have all these beautiful creations? Some have sold, I know, but
my studio space, I have a warehouse. So in Silver Spring and then studio. So I keep big stuff like those large sculptures. Yeah.
where is your studio?
In Silver Spring.
Ah.
Silver Spring, Maryland. Yes.
Okay, Maryland, right. And can anyone visit or by appointment? How do we?
Oh, well, if people know me, they can contact me.
Contact?
Yeah.
And through the gallery.
And through Adah Rose.
Oh, yeah, well, that's also true. But, my friends quite often visit me. Yeah.
Are there any other questions from the rest of our participants?
People are saying, thank you, this was amazing, your work is an inspiration. Someone else had to leave early and said, thank you, and it was amazing to hear you.
Welcome.
This
Thank you
was
so much.
incredible.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm going to tell my artist friends in upstate New York to watch the recording when it comes out, because you're an amazing person.
Not really good talk, but
it was wonderful.
Fabulous. Thank you so very much.
Oh,
and
wow.
now
So
you know how to do Zoom.
Okay. Yes. Not sure,
So,
but yes, thank you for extra learning opportunity.
wonderful.
Thank you
Have
again.
a great weekend, everybody. And if you want to invite another artist, let us know and you can host them and so on.
All right.
Thank you again. Amazing presentation by amazing Akemi, says Ms. Lee. Thank you again. Great.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
great weekend, everybody. Thank you.